For years, we've uncovered tales of strange and unearthly happenings at Cannock Chase, a landscape steeped in whispers of the supernatural. But tonight, our journey takes us 200 miles southeast, to a quiet corner of West Sussex, a place so ordinary on the surface, yet home to something profoundly disturbing. This is the story of the Curse of Clapham Wood. The small village of Clapham sits quietly on the edge of Worthing, its history largely forgotten. For centuries, it was a place of no great consequence, a name barely mentioned beyond the pages of the Domesday Book. That peace, however, was shattered during the 1970s, when the woods surrounding the village became the stage for a series of disappearances and deaths that defied all reason. 8 miles to the northeast lies Chanctonbury Ring, an ancient Iron Age hill fort, long whispered to be a place of rituals and restless spirits. And between these two sites stretches the dense tangle of Clapham Wood, a place where sunlight struggles to reach the ground, and time itself feels somehow off. The first to vanish was Police Constable Peter Goldsmith. On June 6, 1972, he finished his shift and set out on his usual run through the woods toward home. He never arrived. A massive search was launched. Police, tracker dogs, even helicopters combing the forest day after day. Yet no trace of him was found. 6 months later, a dog walker stumbled upon his body, lying just off a woodland path. A path that had already been searched countless times. Officers insisted the body hadn't been there before. It looked as if someone had moved him, long after the search had ended. His remains were too decayed to reveal a cause of death, and with that, the case was quietly closed. 3 years later, another man disappeared. Leon Foster, a local retiree, told his wife he was heading into the woods for a walk, something he did every day. He never came back. 3 weeks later, his body was found deep among the trees, already so decomposed that the coroner could barely identify him. The pathologist wrote that the rate of decay was far beyond what could be explained by weather or time. It was as if something unnatural had claimed him. In 1981, another discovery, the naked body of a woman, was found by gamekeepers on the Wilton estate, identified later as Jill Matthews, a psychiatric patient who had vanished 6 weeks earlier. Again, the same haunting detail. Her body was far too decomposed for the time she had been missing. No extreme weather, no wild animals, nothing could explain it. Just weeks before, police had recovered the remains of Reverend Harry Snelling, a retired priest who had gone missing years earlier. His body was lying in open ground that had been searched many times before. Once again, the officers swore he hadn't been there before. It was as if someone or something had placed him back. 4 mysterious deaths. No suspects. No answers. Only whispers of a curse that lingered in the shadows of Clapham Wood. Then came the stories of missing pets. Dogs that ran into the forest and never returned. One that did come back was found blind, paralyzed, and trembling in fear. With no medical cause, locals began to speak of a cult that operated in the woods, performing rituals under the name of Hecate, the ancient goddess of witchcraft. Historian Charles Walker investigated, claiming he found underground chambers used for these ceremonies. He even spoke with a supposed member of the group, who admitted that the animals had been sacrificed to Hecate. Whether truth or delusion, the story spread fast, and soon, the villagers began avoiding the woods altogether. There was even an ancient legend tied to these lands. The tale of Robert the Falconer, a 13th century noble who, angered by a local priest, called upon Hecate to curse him and his parish. From that moment on, the woods were said to be forever marked by darkness. In 1966, a group of bikers camping at Chanctonbury Ring reported hearing unearthly howls from the trees. A shadowy figure emerged at the edge of the forest, wailing in agony. When they approached, several men were struck by waves of pain that left them doubled over, nauseous, and disoriented. Panicked, the group fled, convinced they had seen something no human should ever see. Years later, the writer Robert Macfarlane spent a night camping at the same site. Just after midnight, he was awakened by a piercing scream. Not from the forest, but from above. Looking up, he saw a dark human-like form gliding across the sky, shrieking with what sounded like rage and sorrow. It split in two, screamed again, then merged into one and vanished into the night. Macfarlane never returned to Clapham. Then came the lights. In the summer of 1967, two men walking across Clapham Downs witnessed a vast, silent, boomerang-shaped craft passing overhead. It released two smaller orbs of pure light that danced and weaved through the sky before vanishing. 5 years later, a telephone engineer driving home along Findon Road was followed by a glowing disc hovering above his van. When he stopped, it hovered too, sending beams of light across the woods before shooting away faster than any known aircraft. And in 1977, a final sighting. A man named Dave Stringer saw a light rising through the trees, a disc-shaped craft pulsing with soft white glow. It shot upward, disappearing into a much larger, darker shape hidden among the clouds. Moments later, the sky was empty again. The parallels between Cannock Chase and Clapham Wood are impossible to ignore. Both are ancient sites surrounded by forests, both haunted by death and mystery. Yet where Cannock hints at extraterrestrial visitors, Clapham seems older, steeped in ritual, myth, and curse. So what truly haunts this place? Did ancient rites at Chanctonbury Ring awaken a force that still lingers? Do the whispers of Hecate summon something unspeakable from the shadows? Or are these tragedies the work of something far more human? A darkness born not of spirits, but of people. To this day, locals still report strange lights, missing pets, and sudden illness after walking through the woods. Some say the air itself feels wrong, thick, heavy, and watching. And every so often, another disappearance joins the list. Perhaps Clapham Wood is not cursed at all. Perhaps it is simply a mirror, reflecting back whatever evil dares to enter it.